Hey guys, Psycho311 here, doing my first video game collection video. I picked up a lot of the cool stuff recently, and I thought it'd be fun to share rather than just post pictures on Facebook. So we're going to dive right into it. This is the stuff that I actually got last week I'm going to do first. So like I said, let's get right to it. First of all, I got these. They were $1 a piece. I don't have this console, but they were a couple of my favorites from when I was a kid, so I figured I'd pick them up just for the nostalgia factor. First is a copy of Berserk for the Atari 2600. I remember playing this game as a kid and not knowing what the hell I was doing, but having a blast nonetheless. The second game I picked up was also... Actually, all these Atari games are for the very same reason. Pretty much nostalgia. But yeah, when I was a kid, like, every household had a copy of Pitfall. This game was actually pretty good, so that's Pitfall. I get this stuff randomly at random thrift stores and pawn shops and wherever I can find a good deal. But the good deal I'll be getting to in a few minutes. And the final Atari game that I actually have that's loose is a copy of E.T., straight from the New Mexican landfill. I'm pretty sure this copy's not from the landfill, but yeah, this is the infamous E.T. I'm pushing them a little closer to the lens so that you guys might be able to see them a little better. I'm also a fledgling game collector. I just started not too long ago, but I got some really cool pieces that I figure instead of looking at grainy YouTube or grainy Facebook pictures, I'll actually do a video. Another thing I got last week that I actually ordered from Amazon because it was pretty cheap is this box copy of a game called Dodge'em that was also for the Atari 2600. It's right here. I don't know why I pointed to it. I have no idea if you guys can even see the stuff behind me. But there it is, a box copy of Dodge'em. Now this isn't complete and the box is kind of torn apart, but the game cart and the stickers are like mint. So it's not too expensive, just a cool little piece to have in your collection if you are so inclined to collect video games. The next thing is also something I got from Amazon last week. It is a brand new, factory sealed, still with the hang tag, copy of Pole Position 2 for the Atari 7800. I don't know why. This isn't really worth a whole lot. I just think it's cool to have a unopened Atari game. I'm crazy, I guess. I don't know. But I think that's a pretty cool piece. What else? Then the Super Nintendo games I picked up for pretty cheap, I think $2 a piece. I got a copy of Taz-Mania. No dust sleeve, no box or anything, but hey, Super NES carts are pretty cool to collect. I'm a big fan of the Super Nintendo. And the other one I picked up was Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, which I had as a kid, and I did beat this game, but damn is it hard. Moving right along. I found these PS1 games for $1 a piece. One I've never played, but I played the demo disc back when it was new, and I thought the game was really cool, but I never actually played the full game, so I will now that I can. It is a original Black Label version of Hot Shots Golf. Again, these games aren't particularly worth anything, but I'm not in it for the money, I just like to collect. And I thought the Hot Shots Golf series was actually a pretty cool series. And the next one I got is the greatest hits version of the original Medal of Honor, which I had when it was new, and this game is pretty rad. I mean, I haven't been back to revisit it in a long time, so it'd probably be pretty bad now, but I remember really loving this game growing up. I got this at a consignment place. I had never heard of this game. It's not really worth much, but I picked it up, so I'll show it off anyway. It's called Close Combat First to Fight for the original Xbox. And it says here that this is based on a training tool developed for the United States Marines. And you know what? I threw it in. I tried it out, and it was like a squad-based, kind of like a Ghost Recon, like Rainbow Six type of deal. So, I don't know. It's just a fun piece to add to the collection. this is another game I got off of Amazon for pretty cheap, and I got it because it was complete. Again, this game is not very good, but I remember loving it as a kid growing up, so I actually picked it up. It is Shit Fighter, or Pit Fighter, sorry. I play this game all the time, honestly, still. I don't know why, but I've always been a sucker for Pit Fighter, but it is complete in box with manual. So that's a pretty cool piece, in my opinion anyway, just because I like the game. What else did I pick up? This is a game you guys may remember. It was a Burger King promo for it came with like a value meal or something. I think the game was like $3 extra, but it is a copy of Pocket Bike Racer that I got last week at a pawn store. I did not pay anything for it. It was free. So if you're going, why did you buy that? No, I didn't. It was actually free. So I mean, and I didn't already have it, so nice to put on the shelf to add to the collection. These are PS2 games that I picked up last week. I thought it was cool. I haven't been able to find this. I mean, it's not hard to find, but I mean like physically in places around here. And then I finally found it, so I bought it for $2. It is a copy of the original Splinter Cell for the PlayStation 2. Now, the cool thing about this is that it is complete. If you take a look here, this, I mean, the manual, there's not a crease or a mark or a scratch or a nick or anything. This manual is pristine. And it even comes with the advertisement for Ubisoft's next game, which at the time was 13, if you guys remember that. And another cool part was that this disc actually looks like it has never been played. You probably can't see that, so I'm not going to hold the discs up. But, yeah, it doesn't look like it's ever even been played. Okay, and now, this is my find of last week. Now, there's bigger and better things to come in this video, but this was probably my most excited piece that I picked up last week at the same consignment store for $2. It is a PlayStation 2 copy of a game called The Bible Game. Now you might be wondering like, hey, why are you so hyped for The Bible Game? Well, typically, and even this goes for like old NES carts too, for whatever reason, religious games seem to be more valuable than others. So I went into buying this game with that in mind. And what happens is every time I pick up a game at a thrift store, pawn shop, consignment, wherever, flea market, I always like to open the case and check the disc. So I was already pretty hyped to be like, hey, a religious game, I wonder what this is worth. And they want $2 for it. So when I go to open the case, it is still factory sealed. It's never been opened. So I have a brand new copy of The Bible Game for the PlayStation 2. And this is made by Crave Entertainment, and I'm only mentioning that because there are copies of this game made by a different company. It's a popular company, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but that version made by the other, 505 Games. The version made by 505 Games is retailing used for over $200. This is the Crave, the more common game made by Crave, but still complete in box, brand new as is here. It retails for about $45-50, and I paid $2 for this at a consignment store. So this is my piece of last week. This was my most hype, like my thing that I got most excited for obtaining. Okay, so now that's last week's haul. I'm gonna move on to. Did I get to everything? I believe I did. And this Mario Cup. I picked up this Mario Cup for 80 cents. I thought it was cool. No biggie, still a collectible. Just saying. Now I'm going to move on to this week's haul. Okay, so now I'm going to give a little backstory. Yesterday, I went to several places and came up with nothing. So, on our way to a place a thrift store that I had never been to. There was another place that I had been to, but we went past there because I'm like, oh, last time I went there, they just had a bunch of original Xbox games, which are cool, but the guy, in my opinion, was charging a little too much. $5 for Xbox games at a thrift store seems kind of crazy. I know that sounds cheap, but there's other thrift stores I go to that charge $1 for original Xbox games. So we passed that place and went to the one that we were trying to get to, and it was out of business. So I'm like, oh, you know, what the hell, we're already here, let's swing in there. So I walk in, the guy doesn't recognize me because I've only been in there one time, and he's like, oh, hey, what's going on? Is there anything in particular you're looking for? I guess that's like the tagline there, I don't know. But I said, as a matter of fact, there is. I'm looking for old games. I said, I've been in here before, and you had a shelf full of Xbox original games, and like, I'll just probably pick through those, because, you know, I expected it to be the same. It had only been maybe a month or so since I was there. So then the guy says to me, he's like, well, what are you looking for? He's like, are you looking for old stuff? I was like, as a matter of fact, I am. And he says to me, well, there's a guy in here yesterday who just moved here from New York. He brought in all this stuff from that was in storage for years, and he just donated it to me, and here, I'll go get it for you. So he brings back the stuff, and here's what it is. Now, I paid $150 for most of it, and then traded a guitar that I paid $40 for the rest of it today. I went back. I couldn't resist. I had to get the rest of the bundle. But luckily for me, and you'll see why in just a few moments, this guy did not have time to price anything out. So I showed up the very next day after this guy dropped the stuff off, and like I said, the guy didn't have any time to price anything out, so he was unaware, to say the least. So with that being said, I'm going to get right down to the stuff that I bought that was in this bundle. I paid $194, $150 plus the guitar, which equals out to about $190. Okay, first of all, let's get down to the consoles. I picked up 4 consoles, which would probably be close to $150 by themselves. But I'll show you the consoles right now. This Sega Genesis. I unhooked all the cords because I figured, like, who the hell wants to see the cords? This Sega Genesis, no, this copy of Road Rash was not in the bundle. I just stuck it in there for the display for the video. But I got this Sega Genesis, which, and all this stuff works perfectly. This Sony PlayStation 1, which now brings my grand total of PlayStation 1s to 2. I don't know why I just did that. This was the first thing he brought out, and I was already sold. This N64, which I was actually looking for, and of course, for you people who are watching this video, are like, hey, I collect stuff too. Yes, of course, I popped this, and it is there. This N64, and this, which I thought was pretty cool because you don't see these too often, and I never had one growing up as a kid. But this Sega Saturn, complete with the memory pack that you're supposed to buy separately, but I think this guy thought that this belonged in here. And of course, another trick of the trade for people who collect and find old consoles. Of course, I opened disc trays, and yes, in every console I opened, there was a game. I took the games out, except I don't think I took the game out of the PlayStation 1 yet. I think I kept forgetting to. Yes, it's still in here. It had a copy of Duke Nukem Time to Kill in it, which I have a case but no manual for. This is not really an important piece, so that's why I'm just mentioning it as an afterthought. I've actually never played that Duke Nukem. For all I know, it could be really, really cool. Oh, and as an aside, because I forgot to show it, I also got this last week, in last week's bundle, and forgot to show it. I got this. Wow, this sucker's heavy. I got this original Xbox with a controller, all the hookups, and that Pocket Bike Racer game that I mentioned earlier for $20. So, couldn't pass that up. That is an excellent deal for an original Xbox. Oh, and with the inclusion of this Genesis I mentioned earlier, now I also have 2 Sega Genesis consoles. Okay, let's move on to the games. This is where it's gonna get real fun. I'm gonna show you this loose disc because I don't know the game or whatever, but I did get it in the bundle. with these 4 consoles. Keep in mind, $150 for $190 for everything. The 4 consoles I just showed you. Original PlayStation 1 game, didn't have a case or anything. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. It's not worth very much. It's a game called Dark Stone. Like I said, we're gonna go from least interesting to most interesting in this bundle. So it's a copy of Dark Stone for the original PlayStation 1. Let's move this over here. Little cool thing from my childhood that I remember having when games were too hard, which they always were too hard. A Game Genie for the Super Nintendo. I looked this up, and when I can remember, I'll let you know what I looked it up for. Like I said, I'm not looking to sell anything. I'm just a collector, and it's fun to, when you find good lots like this, to be like, wow, I can't believe this. So the Game Genie, as is about $20 to $25. So that's cool. Super Nintendo Game Genie, perfect condition, no marks, no scuffs, label is intact. There was no manual, but I looked up a website, and yes, there are Game Genie codes online. So there's that. And then, now this one, a complete in-box Game Genie for the Sega Genesis. Now, actually, it's not complete. It is in the box. It's got the hanger, but it has been opened. There is no manual for it. But if you look at it, the tape here has never, ever been separated from the other part of the plastic. So I don't have the booklet. I have the box and registration card. But yes, this is a, I mean, I guess you would say this is a brand new, never opened Sega Genesis Game Genie. And this also goes for between $20 and $25. I could probably get more. I could probably make it about $35, $40, but I don't have the manual. So I'll have to settle if I ever get in dire straits and have to get rid of this stuff. I was bummed about that Game Genie not being open because I don't want to open it, and I was going to use it today and on my Genesis because I tested a bunch of these Genesis games. Moving right along, I'm going to show you some loose games that I picked up. A copy, and it has, some of these have stickers, which, I mean, back in those days, you bought games from like Blockbuster and, you know, whatever local, like Joe's Video Rental, you know. So some of these will have stickers, but hey, it's still cool to collect, and I was able to actually peel some off of some of these cards. But here is a Sega Genesis copy of Sonic and Knuckles. Look, the hatch even still works very well, and this is going to sound crazy, but I don't actually remember what you were supposed to put here. How dumb of me. So there's that Sonic and Knuckles. Next thing is a loose copy of Shining Force 2 for the Sega Genesis, which I don't remember exactly what it was, but loose like this, it was still relatively pricey. I want to say 35, 40 bucks for this copy of Shining Force 2 for Sega Genesis. Another loose Genesis game. I think I see this one for about 15. I don't have the case. It's got a couple stickers, so that's going to bring it down for me, obviously. But it's a copy of Golden Axe 2 for the Sega Genesis, which is a cool piece if you were a Golden Axe fan, like I was back in the day. Another Genesis game, which I didn't remember until I seen it here, but I remember reading about it in the old GamePro Electronic Gaming Monthly mags in the 90s, was a game called Gods for the Sega Genesis. I've never played this game. I put it in today, it turned on, and then I turned it off and played something else. So today was just like a test. But, oh yeah, and just an FYI for you guys watching this video, I do collect, but I also play this stuff. Like, I mean, I do my Xbox One and my 360 games and stuff like that, but I play a lot of these retro games. I have a good time. I mean, I don't know if it's just like midlife crisis or whatever, but I have a blast. And now that I have kids, you know, I have a 9-year-old, she likes to play them with me, so it's really cool to introduce her to something that I really loved as a kid too. What else do we have here? So I'm going to go through copies, because these are actually quite pricey also. Here is a complete in-box copy of Myst for the Sega Saturn, which this was probably the one that was worth the least amount of money, but it's cool to have a Sega Saturn and a couple of games to play on it. Complete in-box. Even if you look closely there, oh, it fell out, but it even has the foam that they put in there when the game is new. So that's really cool. The manual's in pretty good shape. The discs are all pristine. There's a Myst for the Sega Saturn. The next one is SimCity 2000, which is the second one, the second least valuable one, but still I think I've seen for complete inbox as it is here with the foam and everything. $30. Now, don't quote me like if you're sitting there going, "Hey, you lied." I don't remember everything. I'm just guessing. I have it written down over there, but I don't really want. As a matter of fact, it's right here. I wrote them down. So I'm not actually going to do that because it'll make this video much longer. So I'm going to say it was probably around 25, 30 bucks. Complete in the box for this copy of SimCity. These two I have found to be kind of valuable. The case is cracked on this one, so probably not. It'll probably bring down the value a little bit. But this is a Sega Saturn game called Dark Savior. I seen it as is, complete in box as I have it, for about $60 on eBay/Amazon, because I did check both sites a lot of the times. And then one of the most horrible games for the NES, at least according to AVGN, and so then they made it for the Sega Saturn, Virtual Hydlide. I've never actually played the NES version of Hydlide. I hear it was really terrible. But Virtual Hydlide, complete in box for the Sega Saturn. Disc is in pristine condition. This does not have the foam, but who cares? The manual is perfect. And yeah, this game, complete in box as I have it in my hand right now. I seen the average price is about $100. Now, when I say average price, I'm not one of those people who goes on there and says, looks at the max price and says that. What I'll do is I'll look at the lowest prices and then the highest prices, and then I'll meet in the middle. So $100 was in the middle for Virtual Hydlide, as is. So I only got 4 Saturn games, but it's cool to have a Saturn and some titles for it, just because I never had one as a kid. I'm super hyped to actually play that, honestly. Okay, so we're going to move on to my Genesis games that I got. This is a box copy, but it's not an official Sega Genesis box because it doesn't have the cartridge holder, but it does have the artwork. It is a copy of the game Bob, which I played a few hours ago. It's actually pretty cool, but as is the case with most retro games, it is quite hard. I don't remember. This one does not stand out, so it probably wasn't worth much, but it's still cool. Add to the collection. Next one is also a game that I spent a lot of time on before, playing with my daughter. TNN Outdoors Bass Tournament 96, which I popped in, and we played this game for about an hour and a half, and I did not catch one fish. And then I turned it off and said, I thought fishing was supposed to be relaxing. But, yeah, this is complete with manual and official Genesis case, as is not the case with this Bob game. Moving right along. A copy of the game I did not know existed, but I played the original on the NES. A copy of Blaster Master 2 for the Sega Genesis. It's heavily stickered from being a video rental place, but I'm not too worried about it because it's not too valuable. And as I said, I'm a collector, so I'm not really looking to sell any of this stuff. And then everyone's favorite, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which I actually did not have, so I'm pretty hyped to have that. And yes, this is complete in box. This probably goes for about 20-25 bucks as is. What's next? This one's not worth too much either, but it is cool. It's an older style game. I know that only because it has the black square design. around the artwork, as was the case with most Sega Genesis games released in the early stages of the console's life cycle. But this is Shining in the Darkness. It is a role-playing game. Not too valuable, but it is cool. I like to collect the old RPGs, as some of them are worth quite a bit. And my last boxed copy for the Genesis is a game called Landstalker. My pile of games is falling over. It's called Landstalker. It is complete. If I can get it open. The manual is a couple of bent corners here and there, but it is complete in box. And as is for this game, Landstalker, for the Sega Genesis, $60. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to my PS1 acquisitions, and this was from this morning. So first and foremost, this game isn't worth a whole lot, but it's cool to have, and it has never been opened, is a copy of Monopoly for the PS1. It's still got the hang tag and still shrink wrapped. So I don't know if you can see that. That's why I do that. Not worth a whole lot, but cool to have. I always like scoring sealed games. I don't know why, but having sealed copies of games is fun for me. Let's see, what else do we got here? A copy of Real Fishing for the PS1, which is it is complete, but it's Real Fishing, so probably worth a couple of bucks. A few of these PS1 games were only like a cent, but it was overall, in the grand scheme of things, it was worth it to make this purchase of this bundle. Alright, I'm trying to find the least interesting ones and do those ones first. Okay, here we go. This was just in there, not too super excited. This is called Pro Pinball Fantastic Journey. It was worth about 50 cents to $1. It's not even the right case. It's actually in the Duke Nukem case, the Duke Nukem game that's in the PS1 over there. So yeah, it was just in the lot, so I figured I'd show it. But whatever, not very worthwhile. And this one might seem kind of strange that I'm showing this one to lead up to something big, but this actually is not worth too much. I've never played it, but I am a fan of the series, and now that I have a bunch more of them, I can finally go back and play some of them. But I have a complete copy, all 4 discs in perfect condition, of Final Fantasy IX for the PS1. And it's actually the Black Label one too, which for whatever reason makes it a little more valuable. I think it's because it's the original pressing. But yeah, Final Fantasy IX. And then one of my favorites, probably one of my first PS1 games that I had, besides Ballerina Toshinden, is the original Twisted Metal. Now this is a greatest hits copy, so it's not worth as much as probably the Black Label. But it is really cool to have a copy of the original Twisted Metal, just in my opinion anyway. And it is complete, manual's perfect, and it doesn't even look like whoever owned this game ever even played it. There's not even a scuff, dust, nothing. It's almost like brand new. So Twisted Metal. Now I'm going to get into some of the pricier games that I picked up today. So I'm going to start with this, and then this, because these were the least valuable. Complete in-box, Black Label copy of Wild Arms 2 for the PS1. For whatever reason, this came in a giant case. Oh wait, this is not the one. This is not the one. I was going to say, for whatever reason, it came in a giant case and it's only a 1-disc game. But that is not this one. I'll get to that one. But yes, Wild Arms 2. I've never played the Wild Arms franchise, but I do hear good things about it. And then a copy of Xenogears for the PS1. This comes complete. And as is complete like this, I've seen it going for about $30, $35 on Amazon/eBay. So that's cool. And now for the the few that I actually have here that are probably my favorites. My favorite acquisitions in my PS1 bundle anyway, is a copy of the original Wild Arms for the PS1, which I don't remember the price of it, but this is the game that is only one disc long and comes in a tray that has multiple openings. But it is complete in box. Looks like the manual's never even been touched. Yeah. No, doesn't have that new manual smell anymore. Sorry, it was probably pretty bad, but yeah, like new, copy of Wild Arms. I don't know, that's pretty dope, I think. Complete in box. I'm gonna try to go a little faster because I don't want the video to drag on for too long. But copy of Final Fantasy Chronicles for the PS1, original Black Label version, probably net. I'm gonna go ahead and guess 30. This also comes with the soundtrack. Soundtrack, everything is in here. The game manual, complete in box, and I believe this is which one is the Chronicles? Oh, Final Fantasy 5 and 6, which I think 6 was 2 here. I'm not sure. You RPG nerds can figure that out. Then there's this, which when I saw this, I kind of felt like a kid on Christmas. This is a complete, in the package, even with the advertisements, manual in pristine condition, boxed, complete boxed, original Black Label version of Final Fantasy VII, which is I think I've seen for $57, as is in my hand right here. But yes, really cool piece to have, Final Fantasy VII. Love it. Never beat this game. Made it to, I think, disc 2. And the most valuable PS1 game that I picked up today, at least according to eBay and Amazon, which I was also hyped for this, is the original complete in-box jewel case Black Label version of Breath of Fire 3, which is in pristine condition. Doesn't look like it's ever been touched. Manual's perfect. As is, $90. And keep in mind, that is the average price. So if you go on there and be like, hey, I seen it for $130, well, that's the people that are asking a lot. $90. Okay, so now I'm going to move on. Oh, wait, I forgot this one. This is also another valuable one. This is my most valuable PS1 game. It's a game I've never heard of, and when I looked it up, I was quite shocked. But this is an original complete in jewel case copy of a game called Azure Dreams, a classic RPG Black Label version for the PS1. I looked it up, and this was going for, as is in my hand right now, $120. Alright, so I'm going to move on. I picked up 2 N64 games, and one of them was actually stuck in the N64. And the one that was stuck in the N64 is a copy of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Yes, that's all I have to say. Oh, look, I'm knocking over my... I'm getting excited here. I'm knocking over my copy of Super Mario Bros. 3. Anyway, like I said, yes, that's all you can say. Anyone who's ever played a Nintendo 64 knows this game, so it does not need an explanation. $35. Oh, wait, no, you know what? I think... No, this was the $35 one. The one that I found for more is coming up. And then a copy of Super Mario 64, which is also going for about $20-25, as is. So those are the only 2 N64 games I actually have. But, well, I have Cruis'n USA also. But these 2 are the ones that I got in this bundle, and they are 2 very good titles. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to some of my loose NES games, and I'm going to go from what I think is decent to what I know is good. So here is a copy of Battleship with dust sleeve. Now I know you're like, oh, who cares? Well, the dust sleeve actually adds value, believe it or not. Which, like, it doesn't matter to me, I'm collecting it, but it does add value to it. So that's a copy of Battleship. It's not really worth too much. Cool to have, just to say I have it in the collection. And it was in the bundle anyway, so there was no avoiding it. A game I loved as a kid, also the dust sleeve, SimCity for the Super Nintendo. Loved this game growing up. I don't currently have a Super Nintendo, which sounds stupid, but when I do get one, this game will probably be in heavy rotation. I was always a fan of SimCity for the Super Nintendo. What else do we have here? A game called Eye of the Beholder. I'm not sure if that's an RPG or an action game, but it's an old Capcom game, so you know that it's probably halfway decent. Eye of the Beholder for the Super Nintendo. I don't know why I keep shaking my hand at the camera. This is my first video, guys, so keep that in mind. Eye of the Beholder, Super Nintendo. Not really much else to say about it. What else do we have here? Bassmasters Classic, which you can see has some writing here. But I looked this up figuring, hey, it's a stupid fishing game. But this actually, I think I seen as is, just for the cart. I think I seen, maybe it was the other fishing game, I don't remember, but one of them, which I don't know, but I'm thinking it was this one, is about $50. But probably the writing, of course, would bring it down. So I could probably do $35 for this and still be decent. I think it's this cart. Like I said, don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure it was this Bassmasters Classic cart. What's next? Oh wait, you know what? No, it was this one that I found to be quite pricey. This is Jimmy Houston's Bass Tournament USA for the Super Nintendo, which actually took me a little digging to find, but I think this is the pricier one that I seen going for. I think I saw the average was like $50 for Bassmaster Bass Tournament USA. A copy of Super Alfred Chicken, which I remember hearing about back in the day. I've never played it. Don't know much about it. I'll check it out one day. It's got the dust sleeve, so that's cool. Super Adventure Island. Loved Adventure Island on the NES. Loved it when it was called Wonder Boy, when Sega put it out. Has a dust sleeve. Probably worth a couple bucks, that's it. Very cool game. What's this? This game's not worth very much. It was just in the bundle, so I'll show it. It's a game called Claymates for the Super Nintendo. Don't know anything about it. Never played it. Try it one day. It's made by Interplay, who I think made the Clay Fighter games. So maybe it's in that vein, I'm not sure. But there's a copy of Claymates. Okay, so now all we really have left is the games that get better. The Seventh Saga for the Super Nintendo. Not really sure. Don't really know too much about it. It was worth a couple bucks. It's another game that had the collection. Loose copy of Super Mario World with the dust sleeve. $25. I don't really have to say anything else about it. It's Super Mario World. Super Mario All-Stars. Great game. Don't have the dust sleeve, but like Mario World, don't have to really mention anything about this game. It's Super Mario All-Stars. Classic. Classic game. Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo with the dust sleeve. This game is going for about $40. So that's cool. Find, as is $40. Next is, and this was the Zelda that was going for $50 that I saw, as is how I have it with perfect label. There's a sticker from some game rental place or whatever, but it's got perfect sticker, perfect label, and the dust sleeve, a copy of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This is going for about $50. Now these are the three more pricier. Well, this not worth as much as the Zelda game, but it is, I guess it is relatively hard to find, is a copy of a game called Secret of Evermore for the Super Nintendo. As is $38. Here's another pricier one, hard to find. This one has some label wear damage on it, so it's probably brings it down a little bit. But I've seen it going for about 60 bucks as is, just cart. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars for the Super Nintendo. And my last loose Super Nintendo game before I move on to the final few games I got in the bundle. Shadowrun, which was actually in today's bundle. I was super hyped to see this game. As is, perfect label. This one actually did have a sticker on it. Somebody peeled it off. But perfect label, dust sleeve, as is right here. This one's going for about $80. I've seen online. Okay, so now, and this was the most exciting part about this bundle, was there were a lot, 15 to be exact, there were 15 boxed Super Nintendo games. So when I just saw those, without even digging through these loose carts, which had a lot of great stuff in them, when I seen boxed Super Nintendo games, I knew that I had to have this bundle. But that was before I actually knew what was in it. And wait till you see the final piece. Okay, so first of all, here is a complete in-box copy of Nobunaga's Ambition for the Super Nintendo. This is probably, as is, complete in-box, going for 60 bucks. Everybody's favorite failed mascot, a boxed, complete in-box copy of Bubsy, the Bobcat for the Super Nintendo. Tried to push him as a new mascot for the Super Nintendo, which didn't make sense because he was also on the Genesis. Didn't work out, and the Bubsy games are known for being pretty bad. But it's cool to have a boxed copy of it. Not worth too much, but it's a cool piece. Next game is a game I had as a kid also that I never beat, another RPG. A boxed copy of Illusion of Gaia for the Super Nintendo. This is going as is for probably 35 bucks. It's been opened. I don't think it has the cardboard insert or the manual, so. Next is another RPG game that I've heard of, but I've never played. A complete in-box copy of a game called Draken for the Super Nintendo. I don't know much about it. It's not worth a whole ton of money. Just cool to have a boxed copy of something for Nintendo. Next, this box is kind of beat up, and it's not complete or anything, but I actually have the cardboard box for it. Is a copy of Star Trek Deep Space Nine Crossroads of Time for the Super Nintendo. Cool piece to have. I've never played it. Like I said, it's probably one of the more beat up box copies of a game that I had. Moving right along. A complete in-box copy of Super James Pond. I've never played a James Pond game. I do remember hearing about them growing up. This game is retailing as is, complete in-box. I think I've seen for between $40 or $50. I don't exactly remember, but I'm pretty sure that was James Pond. This is also just a box and the cart inside. It's a game called Populous. I remember this being a pretty popular game as a kid. I've never played it. Maybe some people love it. I don't know. I have it. It's cool that I have it with a box. Love it. A complete in-box copy of Super Black Bass for the Super Nintendo. I think probably not worth a whole lot, but I don't mind goofy fishing games. I don't know why, but I didn't mind it. This box only has minor wear, but other than that, it's actually pretty decent shape. A complete in-box copy of the Ren and Stimpy Show Vidiots. You have to say it like Stimpy because that's how they spell it. For the Super Nintendo. Cool piece to have. I was a big fan of the Ren and Stimpy Show. I've never played the Super Nintendo version, but I have played the Sega Genesis version, and it was a blast. I loved it. Okay, so we're going to move on to, these are the final 6 games I have, and these are the 6 most valuable pieces that I've acquired in this bundle. One is a complete in-the-box copy. I think it's complete. No, it does not have the cardboard. The cardboard holder that all the Super Nintendos came with. This does not have it, but I remember looking this up. I'm not going to fiddle with the box too much right now. But it is has a manual and a copy of Arcana. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but for the Super Nintendo. This game I've seen for as is, with just a crappy version of the box, like I have it, and the manual, $60. Next, and this is going to seem weird, because I couldn't believe that it was actually as valuable as it was, is a complete in-the-box copy of a game called Artie Lightfoot for the Super Nintendo. As is with the box, as I have it right here. I've seen the average price is about $100 for this. Alright, next one, which is also worth, I've seen for about $90. Box is in pristine condition. A little crush damage from just being stored probably, and a little wear on the edges right there. But it is a copy of the original Earth Defense Force, which they make sequels for. I believe one came out for the 360 not that long ago. But there's the original, complete in box. I think I've seen this going for about $60 to $70. It comes complete with manual, cardboard protector, and if you pop that out of there, it even has the original dust sleeve. So, if I ever was like, hey, I want to get rid of my copy of Earth Defense Force, I could probably net about $60 for it, because I don't try to go too high if I ever decide to sell. I'm not that guy. I like to be fair. Or even like trade bait, you know. I don't know, whatever, if the time comes. But as far as I'm concerned right now, none of this stuff is leaving. This game is going for about $60 also. It's a perfect box, nothing wrong with it. Complete in-box. It doesn't have the dust sleeve, but it has the original map and the manual in there. And I know I haven't even shown you what game it was yet, but it is a copy of Final Fantasy Mystic Quest for the Super Nintendo. This is probably worth about $60, $70 as is in my hand right now. Alright, we're down to the final 2. And these are huge. First one is huge because I remember as a kid I really loved it. And it's quite valuable today. And this was one of the first things I seen in the tote for the box Super Nintendo games, and was one of the reasons I was like, hey, I gotta have this. It is a complete, in-the-box copy of Final Fantasy III. This game was $80 when it came out, and I know that because I bought it. And, yeah, you can't ask. I mean, it doesn't have the dust sleeve, but I could take a dust sleeve off of one of these other games. But, yeah, cardboard, insert, manual's a little beat up, kind of shoddy or whatever. But, yes, a complete in-the-box copy. Whoa, that's not good. Complete in-the-box copy of Final Fantasy III for the Super Nintendo. I am super hyped to get a Super Nintendo. See how many times I can say super in one sentence. Just to throw this on. Loved Final Fantasy III. And the final thing, this is the final piece that I acquired, and by far the most valuable piece in this entire collection. I didn't even know it was. But I actually have it right here. Yeah, I don't know, like, I don't even know how to introduce this. I can't believe I acquired this, though. It is a complete in-box copy of Evo Search for Eden for the Super Nintendo. Now, this is no joke when I say this. This is complete in-box, in cardboard holder, with manual and other advertisements that came in the original packaging, with dust sleeve. It has this sticker, but oh well. But as you can see, that's the game. The labels are perfect. Everything is perfect. This game, as I'm holding it in my hand, complete in the box, I seen the average median price for this game is $600. If you don't believe me, you can look it up. About $600. I've seen it going for upwards of $1,000, but yeah, it's worth a lot of money, but I will never ever get rid of it. So yes, final piece, copy of Evo. So that was everything in my bundle that I got. Like and share, subscribe if you want. Leave a comment, let me know how you felt about the collection, and don't forget to follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Psycho311. I'm on usually every night at about midnight-ish. I hope you guys like this video because I'm going to do more of them as I acquire more stuff. And yeah, so that's going to be about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the stream.